Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and a game between Tara versus Hydra here on Shakura's Plateau. Hopefully there's not too much of that gray screen that sometimes happens whenever I upload to YouTube, surprisingly. I don't see those artifacts as I'm encoding, but then again, things do look a little bit strange. Alright, this is game 1 in a series from the World Championship Series. A lot of good news for you guys out there, but let's go ahead and get the games underway. Tara spawning as the teal Protoss on the top right-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, on the top left-hand side of the map, we see Acer Hydra spawning as the green Terran. Terran versus Protoss here on Shakura's Plateau. Game 1, and we'll see what the strategies will be coming in from both of these players. Now, one thing that I did want to note for you guys out there already, I will be going to MLG Anaheim if everything does come around together. So let me know, post information, and if enough fans actually want to meet with me, maybe I will do a meet and greet out there. I don't believe I will be casting unless for some reason something happens to all of the casters and they need a replacement caster. Definitely would be happy to do exactly that, but I'm actually going invited by Blizzard to do a little bit of coverage for the event. Hopefully I'll be able to get all the Heart of the Swarm multiplayer action for you guys, review the units, review the build times, and really write up a good and make a good article overall in general. And perhaps they'll even let me sit down in front of a computer with my own laptop and start writing up some information as the game does get underway. SCV now going to go ahead and scout. It is scouting in between the barracks and no refinery yet. So it looks like Hydra will be going for a fast command center. Meanwhile, it looks like Tara is going to be going for an assimilator as well. He is getting that gateway. Most likely it will follow up with that cybernetics core. You know, getting that Zealot is a little bit of a toss-up. The Zealot does get down some early pressure, a little bit of map control, but you really need the Stalker more than anything else. In comes that cybernetics core. If you can forgo that Zealot and perhaps get a faster Nexus, that does generally pay off more in the long run, as there's not really much you can do. But then again, Tara is playing a little bit in the blind right now, as he has not scouted out his Terran opponent, saying that Terran OP, and saying that Hydra saying that Toss is OP with a click. That's all you need once you do get that giant Protoss death ball. Alright, all of that trash talking aside, in terms of who is the better race, the game is getting underway. Hydra setting up that command center. It looks like we will be getting up a Nexus as well. You can see that it is a little bit delayed here, and also it is going to delay the Stalker. So unless this Zealot gets a lot of damage, it's not going to be all too useful. So far, you do see about a 17-second difference between the two builds, and with this bunker and some Marines now down on the low ground, I can't imagine Tara actually dealing much damage to these 3 Marines, and Tara should most likely just pull back with this one Zealot. No, it looks like the Zealot is going to be going in, charging in head first. This is not good. Getting in a bit of damage across multiple of the units. One Marine does get taken down. Not quite sure why that Marine isn't micro. The Zealot now taking a little bit more damage, and it looks like the Zealot will get taken down there. So a little bit of a misplay as Hydra gets in a very good trade early on in this matchup. Now Tara is getting up that second assimilator. He is getting up more Stalkers. Cybernetics core is about halfway finished with that warp gate tech, and warp gate tech so important for Protoss, as it reduces the build time on all of the gateways by about 10 seconds. If you guys didn't know, the cooldown on warp gate tech is actually 10 seconds faster than the build time on gateway tech. So that's one of the reasons why all Protoss players at a high level want to just utilize those gateways and those warp gates ever so quickly. Now, Stalker is down over here. We can see that there is a Zelnaga tower being controlled, and perhaps Tara is going to try to do something with these Stalkers. It is going to be rather difficult though, as Hydra currently sitting on 1 bunker here. He is also on 3 racks. He is training up some Marines. No Marauders though, as he is currently also researching STEM. So we could see perhaps another tech lab and a reactor. That is standard play, and a factory should be coming in sometime soon. If Hydra wants to be aggressive with his bio much more effective when you have those medevacs. Medevacs are in fact tier 3 though, a tier 3 support unit. Tara is going for this proxy pylon here close to his opponent's base. Will be able to warp in units on the low or high ground and make those units across the map. So far, no players are indicating that they will be going into a third base. Hydra should perhaps be setting up a command center inside his own base, as that does work out well. Meanwhile, Hydra just going into 1 reactor, 2 tech lab play. He is finally training up Marauders, as we are seeing Zealots and Sentries being added to this group. Now, although Tara should be able to deal a lot of damage here, there is no Guardian, or sorry, excuse me, there is no armor upgrades to go along this Guardian shield. So the Sentries will only be able to add 2 armor to the base of 1. And what is going to happen here? Here we go. There's the Guardian shield. The Zealots quickly realize what's happening. No concussive shell. And what is going to go down? There's some force fields, and some Marines are caught on the wrong side. Hydra being very careful as some SCVs do come back over. Some damage was dealt. Let's take a look at the losses. Tara losing a little bit more in that engagement and not doing all that well. A scan and sweep does reveal the robotics facility and a Twilight Council, and normally that does mean, I would assume, Dark Templar play. Dark Templar play makes most sense, as the Warp Prism would be able to warp in units as well. We are going into Blink. It could be Observer Blink Stalkers, but he's already invested so much into this Zealot Sentry. I can't really grasp if Tara is trying to go into Blink Stalkers if he's going to have enough units. Reactor and being built alongside a starport as well. Reactor is over here, a reactor here, and starport. So we are going to be going into medevacs. 1 probe hanging around by this Zelnaga tower as a probe on patrol in the back, and he will be able to warp in units behind. All that really needs to happen. AiTarra now moving away with this probe. The probe, is he going to be able to get away? It looks like it will be able to do exactly that. And if Tara wanted to be aggressive, he could warp in units right here and try to charge up this ramp. There is not much going on. There are also a lot of sentries here, so these sentries would be able to wall off this location and just prevent any units from engaging at all. There is a scanner sweep up on the high ground. Here you go. There's some force fields trapping some of those units. The Zealots absorbing a lot of that damage, and now the Marines and the Marauders trying to fight up top here once more. Stalkers are backing off. 3 force fields. You only really need 2. As you now see Tara doing another round of warp-in from these Zealots. There is 1 probe trying to hide off over here. There is still an observer inside the base. And I still think if Tara had just responded with that army moving out across the field, getting in perhaps 4 Zealots into his opponent's base, that would have been enough to really put him back on the defensive. Both of these players now simply sitting on 2 base play. We can see double forge and a robotics bay coming in. We should be getting perhaps those Colossi in just a moment, as we now see a command center being established by Hydra. Hydra being very careful to set up this command center here, and will be able to establish it down here in just a moment, perhaps morphing it into a planetary fortress. So far, Tara is only running up on 5 gateways, 1 robotics facility, so 6 production buildings. We are going into level 1 weapons and armor upgrades. Robotics bay coming in. And the extended thermal lance range has yet to be researched, even though there is plenty to go around. Colossus being trained up first. Perhaps the next 50 minerals will be going into the extended thermal lance. There we go. No chrono boost on that as of yet, as Tara does have a maximum energy on one of his Nexus. A little bit of a misstep there, as Hydra now looks to come in for a drop. Oh, Tara is patrolling with this observer, and is it going to spot it? That is the key question. Is it going to spot it? Yes, it does spot those medevacs in time if he's actually very, very careful. Yes, the medevac's actually stopping here. So the Stalkers are just simply going to lie in wait and bait this. This could be huge if Hydra tries to drop in here. All the Stalkers have to do is they have to simply blink in, and the medevacs, if they are not careful, oh, it looks like it is going to be a drop on the far corner, as the forge is currently ready to go. There's also units up on the front door as well. Here we go. The observer is just parking off over here. Where are these Stalkers going to engage? Here is the question. It could be a 2-prong attack, and here comes the Stalkers. Oh, a beautiful blink. 1 medevac goes down. A second medevac almost gets taken down as well. But really beautiful response time by Tara, as one of the medevacs goes down here, and the second medevac losing 2 quick Marines. 1 Marine now on patrol. It is going to be 3 bases to 2. Tara winning out and coming out ahead in that engagement. We are going into a second starport for perhaps double medevac and Viking production. Always very important to be able to macro up, but we now see Tara transitioning into very heavy gateway production instead. Warp Gate going to be able to just call in reinforcements in the middle of the battle. 2-2 upgrades now being researched. Meanwhile, 1-1 upgrades, soon to be 2-1 coming in from the Terran bio. And who's going to come out on top here? Scanner Sweep, there are only 2 Colossi. You normally need 3 to 4 to really survive that initial push. And this is going to be a little bit of a split here. There's some force fields trapping many of those units. Guardian Shield is being used. Marauders and Marines trying to be utilized. Vikings now on the low ground or high ground getting shot down very quickly. 1 Colossus getting taken down here, as we may see the Viking try to engage, getting in some easy shots, but another Viking getting taken down. Tara doing a great job in this engagement and controlling the center portion of the map. Now, all he really needs to do is just perhaps walk in here, and yes, that may be enough, as the missile turret can quickly get destroyed. The Marauders and the Marines going to try to come back. If Tara just gets some force fields on the ramp, there you go, beautifully played. The Colossus needs to back away. Is it going to be able to survive? No, 1 does get taken down. Stalkers are now blinking forward. Vikings are on the high ground getting destroyed. SCVs trying to, just trying to repair that 1 orbital command. It looks like it will be able to do exactly that, as the units are once again split up. Marauders and the Marines unable to retreat because of well-placed force fields, as Hydra taking a beating. Stalkers doing a great job finishing off multiple Marauders here, as it looks like the Colossi were able to focus down that 1 last lone Colossus. We can now see Hydra running back to his planetary fortress in order to regroup. Tara does have the supply lead, but the Marauders and the Marines are now doing a really strong chase. Who's going to come out ahead? In comes some reinforcements. Zealots do have charge, and there is not that many medevacs. So the medevac's not going to really be able to do much of anything, as the Zealots are now charging after these units here. And it looks like after a bad engagement by Tara, Tara is instead going to just warp in a whole bunch of Zealots. And now also go into a Templar Archives. Orbital command ready to go. Let's take a look at the worker kill count. 23 versus 1. 56 probes versus 44 SCVs, as Tara now has the definite advantage here. Both players very close to each other and will be able to engage. You're right, as you leave your third base, you're already inside your opponent's front door. And this is going to be a problem, but Hydra does have the benefit of a planetary fortress. No siege tanks coming in from Hydra, so no extra long range at all. Meanwhile, we are going to have siege range coming in from a Colossus, as we are now going into Zealot Archon. Zealot Archon, the natural transition. Archon's very effective against Terran bio, and more importantly, they cannot get shot down by Vikings. So unless we see a quick tech change into Ghost, which I do not believe I see Hydra going for just quite yet, all of these Vikings that are being triply trained are going to be nearly useless, as their DPS on the ground rather low, and the Vikings really benefiting from the fact that they have very long range when attacking air. Archons are ready to go. We can see 2 Colossus, a 3rd Colossus being added as well. The Archons are going to perhaps focus down and finish off many of these Marauders and these Marines. Psystorm also being researched, as well as a drop hits the top part of the base, and that drop clearing out some workers. And how many workers were killed? 7 workers so far. Templar Archives now trying to get focused down. The medevac going to get focused down as the Zealots quickly come over as well. But now we have a very large engagement in the center. Colossi and Viking now trying to engage. Colossi extended thermal lance, and it looks like we do have Guardian Shield as well. All of the Vikings pretty much taken down. The Vikings are up on the high ground, and the Colossi simply just trying to walk forward. Multiple Vikings getting destroyed, and the 3 Colossi simply able to attack, move forward. Zealots now getting slowed, however, from that concussive shell, and it's really going to come down to who is going to be able to trade more efficiently. 1 Colossus down to 23 shields, 35 hit points. 1 Stalker now up on the high ground as well, able to keep track of much of what's going on here, as the Vikings and medevacs are once again being re-added. There is, I believe, only 2 sentries left in this group. Constant scanner sweep to try to figure out where this army is, and these Marines at 2-2 upgrades will soon be dealing with, I already believe, is it 3-3? Yes, 3-3 upgraded Colossi, Stalkers, Zealots, and Archons. Archon's almost able to one-shot, or I believe able to one-shot a Marine after it stims and doesn't get any heals. Ghosts are now out on the field. The Ghosts are going to be going in for some EMPs as a medevac trying to do a drop. I believe Tara is going to spot this, as Tara may warp in some Stalkers down over here. No, just going to get some Photon Cannons instead. A very nice reaction, as those Photon Cannons only take 40 seconds to warp in. Here we go, this massive Bio Ball, or this Protoss Ball worth of units, tech units. Colossi are ready to go. Sentries do drop in those force fields. Vikings now making their way over. SCVs, Stalkers now trying to blink forward. It looks like one Colossus does get taken down, and the Zealots are going to be going after those SCVs. The Planetary Fortress quickly gets destroyed, and a beautiful play. But what needs to happen? Oh, beautiful Psystorms coming in as well, just weakening the rest of the units here. All right, it looks like a medevac maybe trying to go for a drop here, but there are going to be some Photon Cannons already. What is happening next? Ghost now getting some EMPs, beautiful EMPs onto all of those Archons. The Stalker simply blinking forward, though, as the Colossi able to deal so much damage. It looks like the Archons having a field day with Vikings not getting taken down at all, as we are now going to see some Marauders and the Marines now simply try to come in. Oh, we could have some Psystorm. Is Tara going to come in? Yes, there is a Psystorm across multiple units, and there is the GG Hydra realizing that he's going to GG, and GGing right before Tara gets in his Manor Nexus. So yes, game 1 in this series going to the Protoss player on Shakura's Plateau. Also, Tara expanding into this location here, taking a very, very early lead. And Hydra really not responding, not getting back into the game, not figuring out what his opponent was trying to do. And because of that, getting really caught off guard by both High Templars, Archons, and not staying up in terms of the upgrade wars. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game 1. Stay tuned. Oh, did he actually get? Yeah, no, 3-2 upgrades. Stay tuned for game 2 in this series between Hydra and Tara.